Can we start early? Ma'am?
You're on right now.
All right. Before I call the meeting to order, I want to remind everybody in the audience, if you have any comments or discussion on anything on the agenda, please come up to the presenter table there when called. Jen, you want to take roll call?
Commissioner Corbin. Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Waldron.
Here.
Commissioner Thill.
Here.
Mayor Dennert.
Here. In front of you, we have the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
A motion to approve the agenda and a second. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Not seeing anything under appearances and acknowledgement. Does anybody want anything taken off the consent calendar?
Make a motion, we approve the consent calendar.
Second. A motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carried. Do I have a motion we'll move into unfinished business. Do I have a motion to approve second reading ordinance number 1621, amend appropriation ordinance number 1603 for fiscal year 2019?
Okay, I make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance number 1621 to amend the appropriations for ordinance number 1603 or FY 2019.
Second. We got a motion and a second. Jen, did you have any other comments on that?
I don't. The ordinance is in the same format as you saw 2 weeks ago. I have had no comments, no questions. Remains at total appropriations and total means of finance at $324,017.32.
Any further discussion, comments? Not hearing any. Jen, will you take a roll call vote on this, please?
Commissioner Johnson.
Aye.
Commissioner Thill.
Aye.
Commissioner Waldron.
Aye.
Mayor Dennert.
Aye. Motion carried. Seeing nothing under new business, public comment.
You this evening, sir.
Okay. Before we start, I want to make sure everyone understands that public comment means public comment. We do appreciate you bringing your concerns to the commissioner, but we need to follow those guidelines very closely. We will be limited to 3 minutes, and there will be no discussion or action taken based on your comments from commissioner at this time, but your comments may be based for future agenda items and action. We appreciate you coming to the meeting and expressing your comments. First one we have is Jim Casanova. Do you want to come up to the presentation table, please?
I'm Jim Casanova. I want to know what happened to when Gary Gagner over there, superintendent, brought up about buying a new mower that Gail let him use. I hadn't heard another word about this. It was supposed to be in the budget, but is that true or not? Mr. Kelly?
Can I go ahead and respond to that?
Yep.
We wouldn't be able to buy it for this year. It wasn't purchased for
This year.
this year's budget, no.
He proposed it last year for this year.
Gary, you want to?
No,
Help me out here.
we borrowed it from Gail, but we haven't.
Yeah, and the last I remember, we borrowed it from Gail, used it, we were really pleased about it.
Yes.
And talked about that might be something we should get for ourselves, but we had not moved any further on purchase on it yet.
You didn't?
No.
I think maybe you guys should maybe consider that in an extra deal, because I think it's necessary. Okay.
We were real pleased with the
You were pleased with
results.
I thought it did a great job up
Yeah,
around my area.
we'd have to get a skid steer with it, because you gotta have a track mounted skid steer. We just got tires, so I think you get a lot more places, and we're gonna try it again once it freezes a little bit. That creek is still running pretty good. I think we get some more places now that it freezes up.
But he proposed it, last year to get in the budget, but must have got delayed. Any other comment? The other comment I had on there, I think I had another one on there.
Yeah.
I think last fall, when I proposed about getting a lot of trees cleaned out of these creeks, they said you're going to do it in the winter. Well, the winter's here. I see no action. I drove around town today, and there's no action in any part of the town. So I think you guys better start thinking about that. That's all I can say. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Brad and Mary.
Can you talk from back here? Because we're all together.
Well, you both on there. If you're talking about, you all four can come up, bring up a chair. It's flood buyout if that's okay with Tim and Lotus. Okay.
Pull up another chair, two there, whatever
Yeah.
you need.
So we're working on flood buyout, and one of the things we have is demolition and capping of the water. What is the reason behind capping the water main at the main in the street instead of like at the shutoff valve? Is there a reason to do that? Do you guys know? I was hoping Chad would be here.
Both of our water supplies comes from Northeast Third, Concrete Road. And we're here to see if the city would consider letting us cap the water at the shutoff valve rather than have to dig up the
Street.
concrete road. I mean, I'm going to use Commissioner Waldner's words that, once you cover it up, you don't really want to dig it back up.
You don't want to touch it, but
after we turn it to green space, there will be no future building at all, so if it's capped on the property,
I think to answer your question, Mary, in all demo, because I had a house that demo, that they make you go all the way back to the main for any leaking. I think that was brought up by Brad, but we can check into it and see.
Because that's quite an added expense for us. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot, not just for us with the concrete street, but everybody that's doing the flood buyout. I mean, to cap it off at there. Plus, then you're going to be, getting into the concrete in front of Tim's and our house, and that's huge.
you're going to have to almost create a detour around that section of town.
I can check in with Brad and Chad. They are to peer.
Who's Brad?
Brad Barnes is our, he's out at utility directors. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. There's just a reason why
It-
you do, and I understand kind of, but can we make an exception? Like,
Would the city consider allowing us to cap it at the shutoff rather than
I guess that
go
would
out
have
into the road?
We'd have to check with Brad.
Brad and Jan, the water. But I do know the ordinance because when I tore down the house, that's what they asked me. Are you going to rebuild? And I said, probably not for 3 years. I don't know. And they said, well, if we don't rebuild in 3 years, they would like to take it back to the main, is what I was told. So it is an ordinance, but
but it can be looked at maybe.
we can. I will talk to both of them. Jan, I'll talk to all three of them, Jan and Brad, And
Okay.
I think they're worried about it leaking over time if we left it at the shut off.
But would it be any more potential for leaking than it would be now if we were using it? I mean, is there increase, like, you know, when it's shut off, does that make it increase?
That I don't know. I'd have to check.
Good questions for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
For them.
And I had a concern about electrical. Is the city gonna, I have an underground electrical going to my property, so how's that? Does
That
stay?
gets, yeah. I think when we talked about this, Brad mentioned that they just disconnect it from the transformer and leave the wire underneath. That's what they did with the house I demoed.
And I have a city-owned utility light in my property that I pay a monthly surcharge on. It's that pole
In the alley? In the alley or in the?
It's in our
It's
yard.
right in the middle of the yard.
Okay.
Boy, that's another one I would have to ask Brad if the pole,
And I know you guys were gonna check with the gas company on what we were gonna do with that. If you ever heard any feedback?
I couldn't speak to that right now.
Natural gas line.
can you?
I can't, no. That's a little exception, that pole, you know, being in the middle yard, not that we can't do it, we just need to find out what the answer is for you about that.
So do we come back here and then we'll
I'll-
discuss it at some other time, or will you get back to us?
I'll
or-
get back to you guys.
Okay. And if it's not something that they say that we can do, is there any way that we could make an exception? I mean, this happens, like, it's a flood buyout, and it's like
Sure.
very stressful for all of us. I mean, everybody, and it's just,
FEMA did talk to you about, that is covered. I mean, you
I know,
lose
but-
15 cents.
but we still have to, like, pay the upfront cost of having it done. I mean, you know, you have to come up with
Right.
like between $20,000 and $30,000 upfront before you ever can get a check
Right.
back from FEMA.
And how long that will take.
I know.
Yeah,
You know,
I hear
it's
you.
not like we have money growing off the tree. So anything would
I
help.
think everybody in the flood that has been affected, it's a financial burden.
okay.
And if it's not, would you check into it like for the other people too? The others
Oh,
in the
yeah.
flood buyout, not just,
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
you bet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a quick question of
Yep.
Jen? Jen, how many people have contacted us, or we don't know, maybe,
620 Northeast Third.
are we still on
For a
that
while,
15?
Probably 15.
We're still at that number? Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
approximately 15, okay? Some time left, have had a lot of conversation with First District, but right now we're at about 15.
Okay, thank you. Not seeing any more public comment, announcements. Jen, did you want to take care of those first two on the item, please?
Notice of vacancy for commissioners. Last week you set the election date for April 14th. We must now begin the publications of the notice of vacancies. They must be published during the dates of January 15th and 30th. We have got published dates scheduled for January 16th and January 23rd. We will have 2 3-year terms for Commissioner open. Those are the seats of Commissioner Corbin and Commissioner Johnson. Circulating petitions, nominating petitions can start on January 31st and then must be back to the Finance Office by February 28th at 5 p.m. Watch our website, watch the Daily Leader, contact my office for any questions you have about the upcoming election.
Start on January 31st, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Did you?
Oh, you just want me to, the change
Yeah,
of meeting date
do
too?
the change.
Yep, change in meeting date, I believe January 20th is Martin Luther King Day. It is a holiday for city employees. We would change the meeting as we normally do to Tuesday, 5:30 on January 21st, please.
Okay. Is there any additional announcements? Not this week? Okay. Not hearing any. Any further? Nothing on executive session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
And a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, motion carried. Thank you.